Cialis right for you? Is the question on all of our minds. On this, the 39th episode of the VGBees podcast, I am one of your hosts, John Warren. With me is my forever co-host, Niki Grayson.
Hello.
Hi. Do you think Cialis is right for you?
No, I don't think I need it.
Well, someone who never needs Cialis because he's always caked up for the VGBees podcast, it's Michael Higham.
Wait, can I do that at the top of the episode, or should I say that?
Yeah, it's not on YouTube, so it's fine.
Well,
It's 1,000,000% on YouTube.
Well, is that
I'm putting
cuss?
all of these on
You
YouTube.
just can't cuss in the first 3 minutes.
And you also can't say cracker.
That's on Twitch.
That's on Twitch.
Did you see? I'm definitely sure we'll hit this in the news, John. But did you see that Twitch was like, what's the next lever we can pull to make money?
I actually didn't see this. What did they say?
Now anybody can have paid subscriptions. Like you don't need to be an affiliate anymore.
You don't have
desperate
over
there.
They're desperate.
They're like, what if we made $8 off of these 15,000 accounts that don't have affiliate status?
Okay,
I worked hard. I worked hard for my affiliate status, and they're just going to give it to everybody now. Great.
Okay, all right, Michael. We get it. You're a 70-year-old man who's already paid off his student loans. We know you are really pissed that these kids are getting their loans forgiven. We get it. How is everyone today? This has been a strange day for me. I've spent most of the day at the veterinary hospital.
Did you learn anything, or like for like good news or not, or like mid news, or like things are the same?
We just like ran a lot of tests on Raisinette, the most broken dog in the world. We saw her spot. We saw her bones.
How are they looking?
We went to go see one of my best. We drove a really long way to go see one of my best friends who's a vet.
Yeah.
We've never seen him before in a professional capacity. So
different.
First of all, very funny to see a guy that I know to be like a kind of a dipshit. Like, and I mean this in the best way.
Yes.
Just like command an entire like group of medical professionals.
Yeah, here's what we're going to do for this.
I love that.
It's so great. And then he also did like when he took the X-ray, he's like, now Raisinette has eaten a rock or something.
What's that mean?
And I was like, what? He's like, this very bright spot in her stomach. It looks like a rock to me. and I'm like, I mean, it's possible. She's pretty dumb. And he's like, all right,
that seems right.
And he was like, hopefully it'll pass. And I'm like, I'm sure it will.
I hope so.
I'm sure this is the 80th time that she's done.
Talking about stuff that the dog ate today, I picked up Barley's poop and I put it in the bag. And as I was like knotting the bag, I felt something hard in the bag. And I was like,
ooh. So you were squishing poo.
So I had to, that's what unfortunately I had to do. I had to squish it in the bag. And I was like, this is there was an object in here. So then I had to like, it's gross. I had to open the poop bag and then like fish through the poop to figure it out. And it was like a rivet or a fastener, like a metal rivet or fastener was in the poop. Now here's where I'm lost, right?
That's crazy.
There is a chance that it was just
on the
ground. Yes, where Barley pooped, because immediately next door is a house under construction.
Right.
Wow.
Or she ate metal.
Barley said,
she ate metal. Iron deficient. Possible. Yep. But she seems fine. But I was like, I don't know. And that's the thing with these fuckers, is that you can't know. It's impossible to know.
Yeah, you can't ask them.
No. You can be like, did you eat the metal? And she's like,
she said,
I love metal. I love metal. But she's fine. She's regular.
That's good.
But
yeah.
All dogs will eat whatever. They don't care. They don't know anything.
So yeah, read. Besides the rock in the stomach, he like looked at her spine. He's like, there's a lot that's not right here. But like, is it wrong enough that we should, because we went to go do this because a different vet told us that we should go spend 5,500 American dollars to go get an MRI. Which,
dogs
by the
don't
way,
need to go.
By
in
the way,
MRI
good
machine.
fucking luck getting raised at an MRI.
Yeah,
you should like that's like to me that's testing for rabies. You might as well go ahead and kill her because you're not getting her in the donut like in any other way.
Oh man, MRIs are fun though.
Are they?
Are they?
Well, the thing for me is like if I've been in an MRI machine multiple times, I'm just like, I can't do anything. That means I have no responsibilities. Like,
no,
for a moment, the world, stops asking me for things.
Nah,
sure.
When I've gotten multiple CT scans, and I thought I was gonna fucking yeet myself into the magnet that was spinning around me. I was like, I want to die in this tube.
Yeah, like heart surgery. Yeah. Heart surgery was cool because for like the week and a half that I was in the hospital recovering, like y'all fuckers could not like touch me.
Yeah, you're so that's so true.
I mean, you could, but it would be like for bullshit. So
yeah.
Did we say that Michael's on this one?
Yes. Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Michael, did you get introduced?
I did. And then I went, oh yeah.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah,
that's true. Sorry.
When did you start doing that?
That's a very good question. Like it has become like such an impulse. Like when I hop into a Discord channel to like hang out with friends, like that's how I introduce myself. Oh yeah. When did that start? When did I start doing that? I don't know. It's got to be a couple months ago because it's like
it's not that far. It's not that long that you've been doing it.
Yeah, I've been
but it's been good.
I've been hanging out with friends of the show, Jesse Vitelli, Alex Van Aken, Eric Van Allen, and Ken Shepard. And I got it from one of them, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a Vitelli joint to me.
Oh yeah.
But it might.
I'll get to the bottom of it.
You'll get to the bottom of it. You'll get to the bottom of it. Thanks for joining me, folks. You know what both of you like to do and have been doing very well recently is cooking.
Ooh.
I want to talk to you both about cooking.
True. Yes.
Because I feel like I've fallen behind on my own kind of like.
This guy's not cooking anymore.
I've gotten very comfortable making a few staples.
Damn.
And then, Michael's making these fucking chicken wings that look really good. Niki's baking a bunch of bullshit that I wish I was baking. What's going on? I mean,
well, tell us about this ranch that you made yesterday, Mike.
Tell us about the ranch.
I talked about the ranch on last night's stream on VGBees.com or twitch.tv/VGBees.
Hey, John, what if you had an embed on the website and then you built your own chat also?
Oh, hey, almost
your own website specific chat.
You could almost say that like I should be doing like 15 to 20 other things with the site as well.
Did you build it beautiful?
Or like, do stuff with the Twitch that's fun. It's like there's like,
or even set up a bot. Just one.
Set up a bot.
I can't do exclamation mark joined. It does nothing.
No, you can't. You can do nothing. So yeah, there's a long list, but yeah, that would be a good idea.
Anyway. Yeah. So the ranch, 1 part sour cream, 1 part mayo, onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper, salt, oregano, dill, some other green stuff to make it healthy, and then and then lemon juice. Yeah. And sometimes if I'm feeling a little spicy, I do a little dash of fish sauce for that umami.
That's great.
Umami.
Yeah.
Yesterday I had these noodles from this brand called Moon Noodles, which I'd never heard of before. I use Misfit Market mostly because it makes it easier for my brain to be able to shop, because sometimes I go into the grocery store and I get overwhelmed, and I'm really bad at grocery shopping in the store unless I am going there for explicit things. But the idea of going in there to be like, it's time to shop for the week, I will walk out with a pound of gummy worms and an Oreo sleeve, and then I'll be like, well, I did it. And then someone will come to my house and say, you don't have any food.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I have Duke's mayo and sour bright crawlers. What's wrong?
John? Yes. Literally.
Holy shit. You ever thought about making a list?
It doesn't work.
I literally will not go to the grocery store without making a list. Yeah. I won't.
Every time I try to make a list, I can't even conceptualize because I can't see the objects that I need.
Okay.
So the thing about
you forget
shopping,
what food is.
I kind of I do. So then if I'm doing it this way, I'm looking at the things and it's like, do you want corn? And it's a picture of corn. And I say, yes.
Like a baby, like a toddler.
There's like a fucking child. Investigation where they like hold up pictures like, corn, do you recognize this? Yes. Beef, you recognize ground beef. No. Okay, no beef.
That's zucchini.
That's zucchini. So these noodles, which are really expensive, but I got them for not expensive.
Okay.
And then my friend had made this chicken stock just from extra chicken stock. And then a couple of weeks ago made ribs that they got from Costco, like a bunch of ribs that they got from Costco. So then the drippings and stuff, froze those and then made stock. So it was like chicken and pork stock. And then we boiled the noodles in the stock.
Oh,
and then had baby corn and serrano peppers. And what was the other green vegetable? Who knows? There was another green vegetable. Oh, like Chinese broccoli, and then soy sauce. It was Delonquis. Anyway, that's what I had. John, what'd you eat yesterday?
I went out to lunch because some people on the board at the nonprofit I'm involved with, they took me out to lunch. I had a gabagool sandwich with some broccoli Rob and
broccoli Robert,
and some Calabrian peppers and cheese. And then I had that with a side of fries. For dinner, I had Annie's macaroni and cheese.
Hell yeah, dude. What kind? White or yellow?
I did white last night.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
I have both.
That's just good.
That's good stuff. That rabbit can cook.
Yeah, that rabbit can absolutely cook. Now I had made a large batch of chicken and I marinated that in like a can of Chipotles and some citrus and a bunch of spices. And I grilled that up, and so I've been eating that with like rice and tortillas and stuff.
That's pretty. I need cans of Chipotle peppers. I think that's.
I always have those. Those are important.
I need to keep those on hand. Yeah,
smoky and spicy and just a little bit sweet. It's just super good.
It's the best shit, man. Chipotle is underrated. My top five underrated ingredients. Chipotle peppers is up there with alongside ginger. Ginger's incredible.
So
lemongrass, lemongrass, Thai basil, and fish sauce. Those are my 5.
Love it.
Underrated ingredients that more people should use. Yeah,
more people should use them. More people should just like. Niki is doing.
Do you think Niki's cooking?
Niki might be actually cooking.
I haven't eaten.
Okay.
Shorts are incredible.
Thanks, but I got some chicken.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Can you show us how to eat
it with your bare hands? Huh?
I think some fell on the floor.
So much. Wow. I think we're starting to understand how Barley may have eaten something that she wasn't supposed to.
Barley, come over here.
Barley, come over here.
We got
eat the metal I missed. But those are all really good underrated ingredients. I think my advice to the average listener is to go to their grocery store or their like Asian grocer, like specifically, and just kind of like go ape shit. Like get some stuff that you've never had before, because like a lot of those sauces, a lot of those fresh ingredients, like they just add so much flavor to like everything you make. So
I feel very fortunate. I live. The 2 closest grocery stores are a Japanese Korean fusion market and a Mexican market. So I can get all the good shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's relatively cheaper than going to like fucking Trader Joe's or sometimes even Safeway. Safeway's meat prices, get the fuck out of here, man.
No, dude, crazy. I like the seafood city near me.
You live next to a seafood city, yo! Oh, you can get all the Filipino snacks, dude.
I got everything.
Yo,
Do I know what any of it is?
No.
You don't need to know. Just fucking do it.
That's the thing. The one thing
It's
I
none
will
of
say
your
about the
business.
Seafood City, and that's the thing.
It's none of
This
your
is the
business.
part where I'm like, I'm so intimidated to ask anybody in there what anything is, but I should. It's not my fucking job to know.
What?
It's not.
I don't know.
What do you mean? It's not your job to know.
It's not my job to know. I'm just grabbing stuff.
You're right.
Just grabbing stuff and eating it. No.
Okay.
I don't like learning.
You don't like learning. You don't like going to the grocery store. That's
I can't learn or grocery.
Yeah. Well,
No learn, no grocery.
take me to
No
your
woman, no
Seafood City.
cry.
I'll do a walkthrough with you.
Okay.
I'll give you a game facts of Seafood City.
Oh my
That sounds
gosh.
great.
I'll show you the meta.
No, please.
This Seafood City Game Facts is dedicated to the brave first responders of 9/11. I want to thank you so much. So much for reading this.
Oh my fucking god! I don't know. I can't remember who. Someone was on a podcast. It might have been a VGBees podcast. But y'all or somebody was kind of reminiscing on Game Facts and how important like, it's as an institution.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I could fucking think of because you were talking like, oh, there's like cool ASCII art. There's like cool the things that they do with just a text file is always it's been fascinating, and you lose that over the years without it kind of being having the prominence.
Totally.
And the only fucking thing I can think of is a dedication to the first responders of 9/11.
We salute
9/11.
Yeah.
And then also like something like fucking like we're gonna kill these terrorists or some shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, I mean, I like the Sweet Coden 3 fact I looked up was like dedicated to the brave troops fighting in Iraq because it was written in like 2003 or whatever.
Oh, mission accomplished, man.
Mission freaking accomplished. You ever think about how crazy it is that was business at one point? Well, there was a whole business about play video game early, write book about it, put it in the borders. Healthy industry. And then it wasn't anymore. It went away.
Yeah, it went away. It's so crazy how almost every business fundamentally has been this used to work, and now like enough people decided that they would just get more people to do it for no money. And then that'll just replace the thing that was working before.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I mean,
there's no way it could go bad.
There's no way it could go bad.
I think like
everyone just do work for free, right? I mean, it's like I'm willing, right?
I mean, that's the backbone of wiki systems. And there's some companies who made their living off of. I'm not at liberty to say,
Michael.
I'm not at liberty to say any parent company who makes lots and lots and lots of money, billions upon billions of views off of wiki systems from user generated content. That's just what I've heard.
And I think what's so cool about that company specifically is that they've solved a few issues. Like one, it's like building something for free that's like just such a massive network of information. Yeah. And two, developing the ability to get something hotter than anything has ever been on Earth. So when you have your phone in your hand and you go to that website, it gets hotter than like the sun. It gets hotter than like the surface of Venus. It's like, it's really amazing. So shout out to them. You know?
The esports people should stop using those little hand warmers and just go to fandom.com.
Just go to fandom.com.
Oh, you didn't have to say it. Fuck! Now the cat's out of the bag.
I went to the Buffy the Vampire Slayer wiki. I'm trying to warm up my hands. Please.
My APMs are low.
Dog, I go to one of those sites and like literally 20% of my screen is the actual information. Like, I have to allow cookies. I have to watch an advertisement. There's a sidebar. There's a banner.
Yeah, no, we worked at a different website that was
develop the same thing. I mean, we did do the same thing.
That site died though. So
that site
true.
It's not dead. It's like on life support.
No, it's
dead.
It's dead. They haven't updated it in months. It's but they haven't updated it in months.
Like, so it's like there's a viewing.
Yes, there is a viewing.
World's longest wake. Yeah.
It's a wake except they took all of the skin and organs out.
Yeah.
Everything we know about Destiny.
Yeah, we open the casket, we're like, the torso's missing? It's a head and shoulders and the legs below the knee. Where's the middle part? You just don't know? You don't know. Okay.
You took it out and you don't know where you put it.
How many views do you think the Animal Crossing New Horizons villager tier list gets to this day?
Still gets?
Oh, I mean, still fucking
we could find out.
It's still
I'm gonna actually try to find out on the show.
Oh, Michael, while John logs into Google Analytics, I guess.
No, I'm asking someone who works there.
Oh, okay. Have you done anything video games today?
Anything video games today? I watched the Pokémon Presents.
Oh, that was today. Can you believe that? When did you watch it?
I watched it 20 minutes before I hopped onto this call.
Oh, okay. Same, Michael.
What's that
I did the same thing.
Huh, interesting. Yeah. I watched it at 6 a.m.
Oh, loser.
Yeah.
How was it?
Not worth it. Not worth waking up at 5:45.
I don't want a whole lot there.
Sure.
I mean, that stop motion animation show, has that been on for a while?
Pokemon Concierge. Yeah, Concierge came out.
It's great.
Last year.
It looks really cute.
That
is, I'm not a Pokemon person, so this is the first time I had seen it.
It's very, very
like,
good.
Wow, that's really cute.
It's really cute. There's a making of the first season is on Netflix right now. Mm-hmm. The first 3 episodes are coming to YouTube.com, and they're going to make $1 bajillion off of those 3 episodes on ad revenue. Mm-hmm. And then there is a making of the first season documentary style situation.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I would like to see that.
I can find you the link and I will send it to you.
Sick.
But yeah, this Pokemon Direct, they
showed some shit.
They showed some shit. A bunch of game updates. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Pokemon Untie.
Pokemon Untie.
Yeah,
that's right. There's some new guys coming to that.
Pokemon Untie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Three new guys.
3 new guys, and then a mode that is called First to 500, and then the way they it.
I don't know if
I was kind of shocked that they spent the breath to be like, you win this one by getting to 500. It's like, yeah, I
can't believe it.
Yeah, I got it.
It's kind of in the name.
It's called First to 500. I understand.
Yeah, we're gonna play deathmatch. What's the point? That's right, hugging your opponent.
500
friendship,
hugs.
500 hugs.
Where's my hug at?
They did not announce. I think people were really expecting Black and White remakes to be announced today, but we did not get those. And then they had talked about Pokemon ZA, Pokemon Legends ZA. Legends
Smoking on that
which is a sequel to Legends of Arceus.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks better than, like, visually looks better than Legends Arceus did, and look better than Scarlet and Violet did. But that's the other thing. It's a low bar. Jeff Grubb this morning described it as looking like an HD 3DS game, which is unbelievably damning that they couldn't get to an HD 3DS game until the last year after the Switch 2 will release
was announced,
is when Game Freak will have accomplished HD 3DS graphics.
Nice.
Also, it's not the future, which I thought, it's just Paris. Like, I was like,
it was always Paris.
I guess, but it's like in the fucking first teaser, it was like, wow, this is like, they're really going for it.
No, it's like city development.
Yes.
And so that was the other thing. I think people, like, there was a big rumor, and it was people just reading into that first trailer that they revealed last year. People were like, oh, it's going to have city builder elements in it. And it does not seem to that is the case literally at all. It just seems like it is another Pokemon Legends game. They have changed the combat, which I do think is interesting, and we should probably talk a little bit about.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is no longer turn-based. It seems to be real-time, closer to like a Xenoblades. I played Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for 3 seconds.
Yeah. You should play more of that game.
I should.
Kind of the GOAT. But it's because it seemed like the abilities are on cooldown.
Yes.
And not not turn-based.
So it's not turn-based, and then the implication was that positionality is really important, which makes a lot of sense. There was a lot of positionality stuff in Pokemon Legends Arceus, but it was very
it was very
bare bones,
very surface.
Yeah. And in this one, it seems pretty important. I actually really liked the battle mechanics in Pokemon Legends Arceus, mostly because they tried a new thing. So if the next thing that they're doing is trying a second new thing, I'm kind of on board. But I thought that the ways that you could fuck with the priority, and it showed you the move order, and sometimes you could go twice in a row. And sometimes you I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see that they're trying more stuff. And then for folks who do not want new things, they're releasing Pokemon. What's it called? Champions.
Pokemon Champions is
yes. Is Pokemon Stadium 3.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's actually Pokemon Stadium 4 because Pokemon Battle Revolution is Pokemon Stadium 3. So it's Pokemon Stadium 4. It's just battles. It's just straight. Yeah. It's Pokemon Showdown, which is a website that exists on the internet.
This is tied to your Pokemon Home stuff.
Yes. So yeah, you can import your squads and your Pokemon from Pokemon Home. And if you don't have Pokemon and Pokemon Home, it seems like there will be some sort of system to do Pokemon rentals like in Pokemon Stadium games in the past, which is crazy. And that was it. Are y'all gonna pick up Pokemon ZA? They said late 2025 in the US, and then the Japanese version said fall, which is weird.
Yeah. It's probably gonna be a November joint, which is I don't know. I'm due for I would like a new Pokemon game.
You like those lizards?
Legends Arceus was like surprisingly I was surprised by it. One, because it had Rowlet. Rowlet was a starter. Oh my gosh, what a precious. Oh, I have my I can't
Rowlet mug.
My Rowlet.
There we go. What did you know?
My Rowlet mug from Pokemon Day. My precious baby. But yeah, I like Legends Arceus quite a bit because it felt like it was something new, even if it was just some of it was set dressing, like the moving around and going in and out of battles it just took place on that world.
Yes.
And it felt so much like bigger, even though like those areas were pretty sparse. Mm-hmm. Like it just felt nice to feel like I'm stepping into, and it kind of fit the theme of it. Like you go back in time and you're in like the 1500s or wherever the fuck.
Yeah.
So it kind of
Oh, sorry.
No, those are the parts I enjoyed about.
Yeah, my deep concern is that the way that this was framed is that the entire game takes place in Lumiose City, which is really big in Pokemon X and Y. But also, is that it? Like that's it?
I mean,
like, it's going to be that same locale the whole time.
I'm sure. There are ways in which they will mix that up, so it's not just But at the same time, as I was saying, like the thing about Arceus is like it felt like walking into a place with like taking a breath of fresh air. It's like,
yes,
I'm just gonna be stuck in the fucking city all day. Like, Paris might be cool, but like I can only have so much.
And the there were so much variation in the regions, like in the open zones that you could go to in PLA, that the idea that these wild zones are really just from the trailer just seemed like bubbles down certain roads inside of Lumiose City.
Right.
Seemed kind of less than exciting. It looks like it runs way better.
Also
low bar, but like,
do you think it was running on a Switch too?
Yeah. So here's my big theory. I think that.
I don't think it's going to run well on the original.
On the Switch one, no. Here's my theory. I think that they saw. I think for their own technical capacity, which should be much higher, it's fucking Game Freak. For their technical capacity, I think they said, we'll make an open world video game. What do those have? Open air, big space. Then they tried to do it, and then those two games look like ass and run like ass. Mm-hmm. So they said, okay, you know what's a really easy way to make a video game run better is if you put up buildings in the way so you can not load anything behind the building. So if anytime you're looking, you're only rendering like 1/15 of the amount of space that is extant. So I think that like it seems like there was a creative decision in service of the technical side that is like, we need to make this game run better. So if we put the whole thing in a city, then that'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be hallway town.
Yep.
Then there is the other part of it, which is I'm still real dead set on the Switch 2 coming out in June.
Mm-hmm.
John and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but we're both on the summer train. I don't know, Michael, if you have any inkling or vibe on when you think that this thing is going to come out.
Yeah, Nancy Nintendo emailed me earlier and said,
okay,
June 1st, first week of June. Yeah.
How'd she do? How are kids
this week they I think Grub was talking to. Oh, it was yesterday. Grub was talking to Jason Finelli on Game Mess.
Go Birds.
The freaking guy, Go Birds. Was talking to Finelli, and Finelli was like the Nintendo 64 released on the third Friday of June 20 years ago this year.
Yeah, it was a fun summer. Yeah.
So the third Friday this year of June is the 20th. And that would be a nice little circular moment to celebrate 20 years of the 64.
And Super Mario 64 too, finally.
God, can you fucking imagine?
Mario 128, finally.
We just made... That would fucking bang.
I could kind of see it.
If they were like, we made 4 more worlds for Super Mario 64.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
God, that would rule.
It was really funny. Yeah.
Bang.
I mean, they're doing the hands-on at the end of April. And
yeah.
They wouldn't do a public hands-on and be like, well, we'll see y'all in like fucking 6 months.
September.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're not going to do that.
That's also my theory. So I do think it's really interesting that they wouldn't put this game that late in the year when GTA is now confirmed to be coming out at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the impression that you need to sell these you as Nintendo need to sell video games between now and when GTA comes out. Because if they release the Switch in June and Mario Kart in June, you're fine.
You're fine. Right.
If you are in a position where you're like, fuck, we need this Pokemon game now, then you slide that up.
Yep.
But I think they're probably looking at their slate and they're like, actually, probably would be advantageous for us and for Game Freak and for the perception of Pokemon to not release a third consecutive game that looks and runs like shit.
Right.
What if we gave them an extra 6 months to just polish the game?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it feels like is happening. And again, I don't know anything about it. I like to think that Nintendo and Game Freak are like deeply embarrassed after Scarlet and Violet, especially.
Should be.
Because normal people were talking about how bad those games looked.
Even total fans were basically saying this doesn't run well.
It is really, that doesn't happen for Nintendo. Like that kind of negative pushback. Of course, the game sold really well. 9-year-olds don't know anything.
Right.
But like...
Neither do 20, 30-year-olds.
No, but that, for sure. But I like to think that they were like, we don't need to put this game out earlier than later this year.
Yeah.
And I would deeply not be surprised if it came out the same month as GTA.
Yeah.
Like intentionally came out the same month as GTA to be like, here is the counter programming. If you don't want to buy Grand Theft Auto, you can go buy
here's the baby
this
game.
Pokemon game. Yes.
Yeah.
You're not old enough to play GTA, quote unquote.
Yeah, go play baby GTA.
Yeah,
GTA for babies.
You think they'll put a gun in this one?
They should put the next Pokemon in Florida. Just try to make it.
Oh my god! Hey, that'd be kind of sick.
Gen 5 is supposed to take place in theory.
What was Gen 5?
Gen 5 is black and white.
Oh, okay.
And that city is supposed to be New York City.
Hey,
New York City.
I'm going to close that tab. Okay.
New York City.
Maybe you'll find Mario in New York City.
Maybe
Mario City.
Yeah.
That was a Pokemon event.
Yeah.
That was it. It was what it was. Who's your starter? Chikorita, Tepig, or Totodile?
I don't know.
Chikorita, baby.
Yeah, I guess Chikorita. I mean, people seem to love Totodile. I'm all kind of whatever. Tepig was after my time, so
Tepig's mid.
Tepig.
Totodile's evolutions are not good. Totodile is the best of the three between Feraligator and Croc something.
Crocodile-doo.
Croconaw. I think it's Totodile, Croconaw. That sounds right. Wrong. And for alligator. And then, but I just think I don't like. Whatever. I'm having a stroke.
I do love that most Pokemons now are just like, do you have a railroad spike in your head and you're trying to think of a name? Crocowalla.
Tepig is just baby. I think I'm gonna.
Tepig is just baby.
Yeah.
Oh, big baby. The big evolution. That's a big boy. Holy shit.
For alligator.
Big boy. For alligator.
Is that who that is? No. It's for alligators the Totodile evolution.
Yeah.
I'm good off that. Oh, Tepig is baby.
Right.
I'm gonna do what I did in Arceus is that and in Scarvi is that I had Rowlet to the very end. Everstone.
Oh, you just didn't evolve it?
Never evolve it. Just like feed him all the drugs to make his stats go up.
To make him good.
Yeah, to make him good. And
but Decidueye fucking bangs.
Decidueye is sick though, especially the Arceus one because it's the Hisuian one is a fighting type. That motherfucker drop kick
awesome.
Fools, dude. That's just
no, it's awesome. And I think that's why I'm excited for Chikorita because there was a mega version of Meganium, right? Mega Meganium in
Mega
Sword and Sealed.
Yeah.
I thought it was boring. I didn't really like the design very much. So I'm excited for future Kalos Chikorita final evolution. I think that will be fun.
That'd be sick. Oh.
What are you gonna pick, John? Because I know you love these lizards so much.
I love them so much. I'm definitely gonna pick this one up and also definitely play it all the way through, like I've done with all the other ones.
You fucking liar!
I did skip Scarlet and Violet completely. Didn't even try.
That game was good.
The thing is that the game is good, except it does end with an Ed Sheeran song.
I could tolerate that for everything else. But here's the thing: it's like, okay, I feel like Scarvi is.
I'm in love with the shape of you. That's how
and then it's him caressing a Chansey.
Totally.
Oh my god, yo. Oh boy, you can find that on the internet probably. Like the thing is, you play 35 hours of that game, and then you play like that game is like you can play in like 40 hours. You play 35 hours of it, it's mid. That last 5 hours is like fucking absolutely incredible. It does bang. And then you get like the 1 minute of Ed Sheeran at the end, which is like not great, but
not great.
That's kind of this like friends had I have gotten to that point where I'm like, I don't really. Not sure if I'm going to like see this to the end. I'm not really feeling it. It's fine. Then they put Rowlet in it. And then they were like, you should play the last part of this game because it is not what you think it is. And it was not what I thought it was. And I hope Zaw has something surprising like that. Rather than just like city, build the city, also the shit. Like there's got to be some kind of like fucking secret shit underground.
I mean, Arceus out of the Pokemon games was the one that held my attention the longest.
Yeah.
So
30 minutes instead of 15.
No, I mean it was 5 hours. You know, it was hours.
That's not when the game gets good, but okay.
Well, see,
and then
however,
I understand.
You know, it's like
I understand. Yes,
it's like if these games are all the fucking same, and they are, get better faster.
That one's explicitly not, but yes,
yeah.
Arceus?
Guys,
they're all the same. They're all the same.
John,
guy has balls. You throw balls at the guys.
So
but the reason you throw balls. Okay, do you want to rename the guys? Well, if you do, you're a pervert,
John.
So just leave it, and then you bash the guys together.
You're being very dismissive.
and then you do it.
Open your mind.
40 fucking hours. What's the climax? A guy who's better than you challenges you.
No, that's not true.
Wow.
In Legends, the world is gonna end unless you do something.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna fucking die.
Good.
So you
good. I got to the end that said just do it. End it.
Oh boy!
Let the Pokemon company do literally anything else.
Hi, we're the Pokemon company, and they released a new game. It's called Mario 2.
It's Mario 2. My theory is that they're sick to death of this stuff. They're like, I just want to make I just want to make like the most violent first person shooter you've ever played. That's all I'm
making Bulletstorm 3.
Listen, I know Arceus was a bit different, and that's actually I think that's what held my attention for longer is that it tried to do different things. If ZA continues that, I like the fact that they've changed the combat system to involve what appears to be more like a Xenoblade like cooldown kind of thing, which if it's more kinetic and more interesting, then I'm probably gonna spend more time with it.
Sure.
I still think this is that's a different Monolith.
No, I know, but Monolith Soft
versus Monolith Hard, and Monolith Hard is gone.
Yes, that is correct. Monolith Hard is gone. Monolith
Pick
Soft.
up a 12-pack of Monolith Hard this weekend.
Dude, I would fuck up a beer called Monolith. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That would be delicious.
It'd be like the Monolith, shaped like the Monolith from Xenosaga, because you know exactly what the game is about.
Sure.
Yes. Okay, Monolith Soft did do...
They helped with
PLA.
Okay. That makes sense.
Which makes a lot of sense as to why perhaps there is Xenoblade influence.
Yeah.
What's hilarious
is maybe people are speculating. I have no idea.
You would almost think that they would go to Monolith Soft to figure out how to make a game with a lot of scale and verticality that runs well on a Nintendo Switch. And instead they just kind of did.
Their phone only has 55 minutes on it. And every text is a minute.
Every studio's got a burner and they just have like 1 hour a year. They're like, we gotta figure this out really fast.
Funny.
No, I will probably check this out, but it's like, it's kind of like Scarlet Violet. It really depends on like what else is happening around then, because there were other releases that happened around that time that I was like, I know that I'm not desperate enough to check this out. So I'm wondering if ZA will capture.
It'll be free, John, so you'll be able to play it.
It'll be free. What do you mean?
Just ask Reggie. Ask Reginald.
Just ask Reggie.
I don't think I've ever gotten. You know what? You know who sends me codes without asking? Capcom. That's it.
That's great. That's really great, actually.
Yeah.
They make good games.
I've spent 7 weeks saying how bad Monster Hunter is. Guess what I've got in my inbox right now? And they might as well have said, maybe this will change your mind in their email, but they didn't.
That's good.
So anyway, but yeah, that was Pokemon Presents.
I don't have like
tepid offering.
Tepig offering.
It's tepig offering.
Yeah. I mean, going in realistically, I'm not expecting this to like blow the fucking doors off.
No.
It's going
to be a Pokemon game.
It's a Pokemon game. There's like that's just not what they do. But yeah, it's a new Pokemon game. At the same time, it's a new Pokemon game.
Yes,
it's like you
got me. I'm in again.
Like, I know that I am a sheep. I know I'm a Mareep, and I will play this game. I'll spend $50, $60, maybe $70.
This one's going to be $70.
Switch 2 games are definitely going to be $70.
They'll be $70.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good. You know what? Good for them. Nintendo doesn't have enough money.
They don't have enough money. They need some walking around money.
They don't sell enough of these things.
You know who else might need some walking around money is Warner Brothers Discovery Inc., who is closed.
Oh, boy.
3 more studios. Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and Warner Brothers Games San Diego. Obviously, that involves the studio that made Multiversus, which also shut down. But Monolith Productions was making the Wonder Woman action game that is now completely shelved. And they basically are saying we're going to focus solely on Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC Comics, Game of Thrones.
Okay.
That stuff. And so this is another huge move. This comes just weeks after Jason Schreier, reported about the difficulties making these games. Wonder Woman had been rebooted. They had actually pitched a game at some point about John Constantine, which would have actually fucking ripped. Man, yeah. But instead they said, no, you got to make something that's Game of Thrones related instead, which like, what a hot property, right? So
I mean, people do be liking that. It just sucks because
Yeah.
Warner Brothers doesn't own anything that you could possibly make a video game off of. So it makes a lot of sense. They would shut these studios down because there's kind of nothing that they can,
there's nothing they can really pull from,
No. Right. So just from a pure business perspective, it makes a lot of sense that they would do this.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable to me. Well, not unbelievable, entirely believable, I guess, but I'm finding new ways to be shocked at how inept people who are in charge of video game company are and can be. In new and exciting ways, they figure out how to be stupid.
Exciting. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
It's execs they're not in this for the games, they're in this for the money.
Yeah.
And so they look at trends. They look at what are we gonna we're gonna make Rocksteady put out a live service game. Nobody fucking asked for that. No. And it's they don't care what Rocksteady's history is. We just have a developer who's a studio that's ready to make something, make them do the thing that makes money for this other company. Oh, you fucked it up, then goodbye. That's just not the world in which they work in. And I think us who've talked about this, paid attention to, we all know that. But it just it continues to shock me that they get away with this shit. It's the story of any other industry too, where it's the execs who make these decisions don't face any repercussions for the terrible decisions they make, and it's the studios who bear the brunt of the executive failures. And to see a studio like Monolith off, when Shadow of Mordor is 2014, yes, but it's they made
fear. They're the reason AI in video games is good.
They were reduced in the statement to a company that was delivering, quote, epic fan experiences.
God, that is the language of someone who has no fucking idea.
To reduce that studio to, quote, epic fan experiences is what it's like killing someone, throwing their funeral, and then setting their casket on fire in front of everyone. I mean, it's it is so insulting. And I'll just add to a point you're making, Michael, about yes, they're not in it for the games, they're in it for the money. Increasingly, they're not in it for either one.
Yeah,
they're in it for it's exactly what is happening with the rest of the country right now, where we've basically given the keys to billionaires who are we are the stewards of efficiency and quality, and we're basically gonna absolutely wreck shop and basically take things over. The thing is that they are explicitly good at the opposite. They are massively inefficient wastes of space and brain cells who envision themselves geniuses, because what they'll do is they'll make so many moves and so many bets that one of them will pay off, that the other ones, even if they fucking fail, nobody will ever remember them, so it's fine. The thing is that now they're missing so more frequently that it's becoming obvious that they're not good at either one.
Yeah.
And they're still not facing any repercussions from also being bad at the money thing.
They're also they're also in a position where they can deflect those things to other, and you see it across the country, where it's oh well, the
wokies,
DEI,
DEI,
no one,
wokies, no one wants to buy woke fucking Suicide Squad. We made Suicide Squad woke.
There's another exec who blamed something on wokeness or so recently that was just
that was Ryan,
fucking failed.
That was Ryan Cohen, the CEO of fucking GameStop, who is closing every Canadian branch of GameStop because he's the fucking wokies. If you want to talk to people about why GameStop failed, and it's not because we packed them all with fucking Funko Pops and decided that was now our business model. It's because the wokies got involved.
Funko Pops woke?
Funko Pops woke?
Yeah. Their eyes are always fucking open.
Welcome to the fucking resistance, you dead-eyed weirdos. Good job.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And it's it's frustrating. Obviously, it's beyond frustrating for these studios to be reduced to this kind of thing. But they also said, what did they say? Discovery. This is JB Perrette, who is the CEO and president of Global Streaming and Games, says, getting our swagger back happens when it's high quality game release comes one high quality game release at a time, and our financial credibility gets rebuilt one fiscal quarter at a time.
Sure. So what our fiscal credibility, your Warner Brothers Discovery. What are you talking about? You can have anything you want. What do you mean? You could ask for $1 billion tomorrow and Chase would be like, okay.
Yep.
Like, what are you talking about?
Swagger back though.
Dude.
That's
just like Justin Timberlake. Swagger back.
What a insane thing to say.
Dude, and it is simply they literally don't. And it's not even like, oh, they don't know what they have in the way that you like talk to person in a relationship. And they're like, oh, they just like don't like they don't even. It's not that they can't see the thing that they have. They do not understand the thing that they are working with. No. They don't get it. They're like, oh, it takes 30 minutes to make a movie. Not true. It takes 8 months to make a movie. And all we do is we tell someone, hey, go make a movie. And then there's 100 years of established history of how you make a movie. Mm-hmm. And then they make themselves kind of a little bit. And then they're like, oh, well, this mentality just is the same for the video games that we also make here at Warner Brothers. And it's like, no, mm-hmm. It just isn't how it goes. And also, it doesn't need to be how it goes. You're the ones making it so that like when people try to make video games the way that video games are supposed to be made, it doesn't pan out the way that you're looking for.
What if you like hired an expert? Like, I want to do this thing. I'm going to hire a bunch of experts to do the thing. As soon as I hire them, they listen to me. I'm the expert now.
I'm the expert now.
No, that's not what you do when you like you do the thing that you're best at. Instead,
which is nothing.
They're like, okay, we're going to bring you in, and then you listen to me. This is what we're doing. Make it happen. And then it's like such a like a storied studio in Monolith, and who made a game of the year. Yes. Granted, it was 11 years ago at this point, but the fact that you like squandered their momentum and their potential, and
that the other thing, right, is that it's like they made a game of the year, they made a sequel to it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the cycle, right?
That's it.
This should have been their third. Yeah. That's how long they take.
That's how long they.
That was 11 years ago is when Shadow of Mordor came out. They released another one. The third one should have been coming out about now. That's just how much time it takes. And instead of giving them the time to breathe, to understand, hey, how long does it take? They said, no, we'll just kill it. We'll just take it back and kill it right now.
Yeah.
Because it would be, I don't know, dude.
And with it, comes the patent for the Nemesis system, which is Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers went themselves to patent it, so they still own it. And now they appear to be not applying it to any of their own games right now, and it's just going to sit there.
The Nemesis system. Then there was a news story that came out today that was a consultant, a comics consultant who was working on the game. Was like, this game was big and beautiful, but okay. And also, they were saying that it was the Nemesis system in reverse, basically, so that Wonder Woman was going around befriending people, and creating networks of people. Lasso. Yes, creating networks of people that could be relied upon to help her in conflict, which is like a really interesting way to turn the system on its head.
Yep.
I was looking at the patent earlier, and because of the way the patents work in this country, they have to be hyper specific, and this patent is so specific about the ways that like RAM and CPU usage is allocated.
That it feels like you get around it.
Honestly, reasonably, like someone could make a video game with basically the Nemesis system.
Yeah.
And have better ideas than the Nemesis system, which is 11 years old at this point. Like,
it's very
someone
old.
Could put a video game together with basically this system in it, iterated upon, and move forward. But also, yes, like, it is nuts that the core tenet of this incredible video game, a legitimately revolutionary system, they were like, well, we gotta patent it because we'll use it in every single one we make. And you made one more.
You made one more, and like it wasn't in any of the Batman adjacent games, which is crazy to me.
Yeah,
it wasn't in any of the Game of Thrones shit that has come out, which is crazy.
Which would have been it's a layup.
It's a layup.
It's really easy, actually. If you're like chasing a Skyrim-esque, like an Elder Scrolls-esque game that is Game of Thrones, except you then overlay the Nemesis system onto it, and you're fighting these like shitty little lords and vassals across.
Great.
Now hold on.
Yeah. So what's the name of the place?
What's the name of the place that Game of Thrones takes place in?
I think
because my initial guess was Arendelle, which is the name of the city in Frozen. And that's not it.
Are we?
No, I think I can get it. Give me like 15 seconds.
Okay.
It's not Eorzea, because that's Avowed.
That's Final Fantasy 14.
No, in fact, they rarely actually refer to the entire planet. They're really only talking about.
That's Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls.
You got it.
The North.
Well,
that's Toronto.
That's a running through the 6 with my woes.
Oh, gross, dude.
Gross.
Mm.
Canceled.
What's it called?
Part of it is a direction, right? A cardinal direction.
Yes.
The Western lands.
You're really close.
This is kind of like LB with
Westeros.
Yes, there you go.
There you go. Good job.
Fucking dab on it, dude. Congrats.
Niki,
okay, where are we going with that?
Yeah, where are we going with that? No, I don't remember either.
Oh, it would have been sick if they made a video game that was Game of Thrones, except it was open world.
Video Game of Thrones.
Video Game of Thrones. And here's the thing: they're such fucking cowards. They wouldn't have just if they called it Video Game of Thrones, it would have been the best-selling video game.
So good. Yep.
Flying off the shelves at Target. Hi, I'm Ansa Stark. Welcome to my new Video Game of Thrones.
Oh, fuck.
Our long lost brother Ninja Stark. Hi.
Holy shit.
So Warner Brothers again still doesn't know what they're doing with any of the very popular IP that they have, and very, very, very good studios that they own.
They fucked up. Sorry, they fucked up Warner Brothers Smash Brothers.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. LeBron James was in that.
LeBron James was in it.
Fortnite's
Daffy
LeBron James.
Duck was in it.
They also could have put like Prince from the music videos from Batman in 1989 in it. And
like Shaggy was in it.
Shaq he wasn't in it.
Shaggy.
Oh,
Shaggy.
But they could have put Shaq. Can you imagine?
AEW wrestlers could have been in it.
God, I can't believe we're having multiverses ideas today. It's Pokemon
Ernie Johnson could have been in it.
No, it's Pokemon. So you put in the inside the NBA crew, except Ernie Johnson is Pokemon trainer, and then it's Kenny, Shaq, and Chuck are the three guys,
good.
and Ernie is behind the desk in the background of the stage.
The implications of this is.
You think the implications aren't great?
Shh. Think of the what do you call it? Optics.
No. The optics are good.
Damn,
David Zaslav can't see. That's why his
glasses
are so fucking big.
In my household, they own Ernie and they throw him out.
Oh shit, man.
Anyway,
I did watch a supercut of Ernie Johnson explaining all the times that people thought he was black and had to explain that he wasn't, which is very funny.
It's a good supercut.
This is really good.
Fuck.
I don't know how that rumor got started, but it's very funny. But yeah, they fucked it up. I mean, it's like fucking up those Batman games. Like again, like they've done a great job of of obviously destroying Monolith, but also like destroying Rocksteady's reputation. I mean, like now they're going back. Rumor has it to make a Batman game that's going to be like a single player experience. But I just like
too late.
like. It's probably too late. And I also don't buy that it's going to be. I also don't buy that it's going to be that simple. Like I just don't. I don't think they can help themselves.
Like,
I don't think Warner Bros. Can help like themselves.
The Warner Bros. Is not the type of company to be like, hey, you have 5 years to cook, and it's going to be great. See you in 2030. No, they're like, no, you need to turn this shit out immediately.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like we're just gonna shut you down. And like that's just I don't know. Like game development has been elongated at this point to a point where like a game of that scale, of that kind of nature, will take like if you're not in like pre-production now, you're fucking cooked, dude. You're not going to see that shit for another 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah,
and these parent companies are not that patient. So you're kind of at an impasse where you want this big blockbuster game, but it's going to take 5 to 7 years. But they're not going to give you 5 to 7 years to do it.
And that's the other bad part about consolidation, right? Because I'm sure what the Warner Brothers folks are looking at is they're like, well, Microsoft has video game studio and they're releasing a game every 3 months. That's really big and nice. And people are buying
because they have fucking 20 studios.
And right, exactly, right? Like that's the second step. And that's what I'm like, that's to the point that I was making earlier, where it's like they fundamentally don't understand what they are working with.
Yeah.
They don't understand that, like, yes, part of the reason Microsoft was like, we'll buy everybody was because they saw this shit coming and they were like, okay, well, if these timelines are getting longer and longer, the only way we're going to be able to reasonably have a calendar that has video games in it is if we have 20 studios under the umbrella that are in rotation, constantly making a video game, and it's the only way it works. But if you are Warner Brothers and you look at your piece of paper and you're like, okay, well, we have 8 game studios, but we're only kind of letting them make what we want to be tentpole AAA game experiences, and we also have not intentionally planned for them to come out not every other year, then yeah, of course this shit doesn't work.
Yeah,
and you look at it and you're like, oh, where are the video games? It's like, you're not making them.
You're always behind the 8 ball. Like also, you're always behind. And if there are delays with them, they're really damaging. Where it's like if you do have 20 rolling studios making stuff, if one of them gets delayed, that gap is not large enough to like.
Yeah, which is why they were like, oh yeah, Avowed went off. Sorry, Michael, I know you have something to say.
Yeah,
Avowed popped off, and I'm sure the call that was made to be like, oh, fucking whatever, Fable can come out next year. Who gives a shit? Avowed popped off, and we have Outer Worlds coming out.
Then you're good.
Also, like whatever, it's okay. Like it makes that call way easier.
Yes.
Yeah. And like for a company like WB that constantly like steps in and says like, hey, there's this new trend. You should do that now. And it's like, dog, I'm in the middle of making the damn game. It's like, hey, sorry, but you need to put this in there actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that needs to be a Wonder Woman game now. I'm like,
it's such a fucking obvious thing, but it's like, I don't know. People in these positions, and you're right. I mean, it goes back to the original thing you said. They're not in it for the games, because if they're in it for the games, they would know that when you look at someone and say, hey, this thing that you're already in the middle of, that is still 5 years away from being a thing extant in someone's hands, we want you to chase this trend that's popular today.
Yeah, right now.
Like everyone's going to fucking hate it by the time.
You need to be looking for trends tomorrow and beyond that of like, what is not come around in the past decade that we think could come around? What is new that we're thinking about? And it's like, if you're not doing that, you are absolutely fucked unless you have like a totally amazing way to execute this thing that is now an old idea.
Or you need to be a trendsetter. And that's why like companies like Nintendo can get away with this shit, because they are the trendsetters. People listen to what they do. So they can like, they don't necessarily need to chase trends. They pay attention to them, of course, but it's like, no, we do this. This is what we do, and motherfuckers.
And then when they do try to do a thing, they always do it weird, and then it does feel off, but it's fine because of their like history, like
reputation.
Someone was like, we need to make people love third person shooters now, and Nintendo said, all right, bet. They're squid children. And what if the online was really
they don't like
bad,
different colored ink. They don't like they like their own ink, and the internet's really bad.
The internet's really bad. And then you know what happened? Tens of millions of copies.
That shit printed money.
So like
it was pretty good.
Really good. So I don't know. I actually don't. a very increasing, because I had a version of this conversation yesterday with people who are not in the industry. And I'm increasingly realize actually how simple running a video game company is.
It is not
from
hard.
a strategic point of view.
Yeah.
Like it really actually isn't that difficult.
I know.
And that's not like some blowing smoke up our own asses. Like I just don't think it really is that hard. Which makes it more and more frustrating when shit like this happens.
The day-to-day stuff is hard. The stuff that is like executing and like figuring out how to problem solve and all that stuff. Like game devs who work on stuff work incredibly hard, and it's an incredibly difficult business. But from the top down, it's not that hard, and it's crazy how hard companies seem to make it, especially when they own IP that is already printing money. Or in like something like BioWare's case, have a history of inventing IP that is great, but now you just don't do that shit anymore. Like it's such a weird thing. Like the BioWare thing is so maddening because it's like, I know it was a risk and it didn't do that great, but like they made Jade Empire after they made Knights of the Old Republic, which is like a weird like blip, which like had new systems and old systems and all this stuff like that combined to form something really interesting. And it's like you're not getting Jade Empires anymore, like from anybody. And it's just like, and it's one of those things where
they don't want to have the conversation. They look at the lines and they say, well, this isn't going to make $1 billion. So what's the point? You know what's better than no money?
Some money.
Some money.
Yeah, enough to like if they made a double A, if Monolith had made a double A John Constantine game that was about like demon hunting in the city,
you'll get some money.
Is that going to make like
it will make
like $1 billion?
No,
maybe not.
But it will
is
make
it going
more
to do
money than you spent.
Yeah,
and that's all you need.
Yeah,
is it to make more money than you spent on it? That's all you need to do.
Yep.
And instead they are everyone everywhere is actively making decisions to make $0
That makes you a bad businessman. I don't know why you have that job.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what we're saying at the beginning, where we're like, yeah, they're not in it for the games, they're in it for the money. I was like, I'm not sure they're in it for either one. Like they're in it. They're in it.
Woke.
Every executive that is making these choices right now is in it for their next job. We saw it with John fucking Richard Rice-A-Roni or whatever he was. And like he was like, he's failed up like 5 times. And that's what I'm saying. All these big, bold moves are so you can show someone else, I got this company to go in this direction, and they all went in this direction and they did what I say. Is that more or less valuable than if I had not commanded them to go in one direction and they had all done their own thing and they had made maybe the same or more amount of money? No, it's more impressive to the weird people who hire these people to be in charge of these massive companies to go, no, it's better that to steer everyone in a specific direction than that direction actually being any fucking good.
Dude, I could be an executive.
Of course you could.
Hard.
Give me like
a
I was. You think it's hard to be an executive? Like, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, it's stupid. You know, it's like it's really goofy to me that we do talk about these people like they are in it for the money, when in reality it's like, no, it's something much worse. It's something much weirder, actually.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude. And
thanks, Niki.
Maybe the success of Harry Potter of Hogwarts Legacy probably like, oh shit, we hit it. We hit the jackpot once.
We hit it.
Yeah, that's do that again and again and again.
Yes.
And that's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. We also, speaking of CEOs, there was a guy named Enrique Olivier. Sorry if I can't help but say your name
Henry Oliviers
in a funny way. Henry Oliviers. He is the CEO of Bossa Games. He also calls himself Gamer in Chief on LinkedIn.
Ooh, you hate to see it.
Hate to see it.
Hold on, wait, sorry. I'm getting barley drugs.
Yeah, I know.
Is that the Surgeon Simulator guys?
Yes.
Okay, Sergey. Keep going. Now I'm listening. I'm on this one, but now I'm listening.
You're listening. Niki's giving Barley some medicine. Yeah. Enrique went to LinkedIn amidst Bossa Games has had 2 slates of layoffs in the past 18 months, one in the beginning of 2024 and one very recently. And they're trying to finish a game called Lost Skies. But he took to LinkedIn to say games industry media nowadays, dev, hey, here's our new game. Would you want to talk about it? Journo, nah, sorry. We're too busy covering Call of Duty, Monster Hunter, Civilization 7, and Pokemon. Dev, goes through hard times, downsizes studio. Journo, oh my God, you guys are letting people go? I'll write an extensive piece on that. Which broke containment and now has fucking 200 comments on it on LinkedIn. A lot from journalists, including Jason Schreier, who've basically pointed out how goofy this is. This just kind of got me thinking broadly about kind of the attitude of devs when it comes to the critical space of games media. And it made me think, first of all, just as a jumping off point, it does seem to be a lot of people's marketing strategy that IGN or Polygon or Kotaku or whatever GameSpot just writes a fucking news piece about a game, and that's it. That's all people care about. When you read this or hear about it or whatever, what do you think about? What comes to mind?
I think about seeing a take so bad I immediately want to go to sleep.
Sure.
It's just I think a broad point is games media is a very easy thing to punch down on.
Yes.
And the ways in which you can punch down on games media is multifaceted, and we've all seen it. We've been in this business long enough to see all the ways in which we can be a punching bag for whoever the fuck. And at this point, I don't give a shit. But yeah, to see this, it's that's a fundamental misunderstanding of what media is supposed to do or what media has been doing.
I also think it's so funny that this guy thinks that IGN is pushing, or GameSpot or Polygon are pushing game sales. Like people look at an article and then they go, well, I read about this. I read a trend piece on this video game on IGN.com and now I'm going to buy it. That's not how it hasn't worked like that in so long.
In a long time.
In a really long time. People are making these purchasing decisions based off of the Steam algorithm and TikTok.
Yeah.
It isn't people that conversion rate is simply not there anymore.
At least not at the scale at which
not at the scale that I think this guy thinks.
Yeah.
That
does it convert a person every now and then? Of course,
for sure. But it's there is conversion, but it is not at the scale as it even was in 2012.
Gamers are coming together in communities individually on Discords or on Reddit or on TikTok or wherever, and they're sharing moments and experiences with these games, and that is driving so much more sales and excitement than any of this bullshit. Than Reb Valentine saying Bossa Games is making Lost Skies. Like that doesn't move anything. And in addition to that, I think it's also I think it's really interesting that I've actually lost my train of thought in a way that scares me, and I can smell toast and almonds.
Oh,
are you okay?
And no.
Oh, he's dead. He's gone.
Oh,
I'm fine.
Well, it's just us.
Okay.
No, I just completely forgot what I was going to say.
We were so close to having this podcast.
I know. Okay, taking it over. It is in my will that you two get it specifically.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, I got to talk with some people if I can do that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me know.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's
okay. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I think. Okay. Yeah, you can give me some of it on the side. You just Venmo me my portion that's in his will.
Yeah.
I think here's a big brain take. What if the enemy is actually capitalism?
That was actually,
now hear me out. Hear me out.
Yep.
Because here's the thing, is that there is a reason why we have to cover Call of Duty, Monster Hunter, Civ 7, and Pokemon, is because our parent company's asking us to drive numbers. What's going to drive numbers? Games like that. And you know what we don't have the capacity for as a very small staff is to cover things that don't drive numbers, that don't make parent company happy. So we're thrown in a cycle in which we do have to do these things.
Right.
Hopefully we have time or energy to do passion things on the side, or to like, curate like, oh, I checked out this game. Here's what it is. And like, we have such little capacity to do those sorts of things because the system demands us to cover the big stuff and juice those things for what they are worth. And sometimes not even that's enough. And so you're looking at us and blaming us in games media for not covering your thing when it's like, hey man, like, don't kill a messenger, dog. Like, this is the system in which we all live in. The same system that is hounding you, that is fucking up your life, is fucking up our lives in the same way. They're making us fight. It's kind of I don't want to say like, it's like interclass warfare, or whatever. It's like they're making us fight. Yeah,
for sure. Because it is easier to distract across. It's easier to distract horizontally than it is to distract up and vertically.
Yes.
So it's like, it is easier to just sit back and then let people argue over this.
You can send a direct message to Jason Schreier right now, and he will probably read it and get back to you. You will not be able to do the same thing for like fucking Michael Bloomberg, who is like saying, hey, my website, my very good website needs the ad revenue and sub revenue and all this stuff. It's like, it is much easier to say this is a journalist's fault than to, one, question your own frankly busted idea of a marketing strategy, which is also part of this. But also saying like we're all in the same fucking boat. Like, your bosses, in this case, you yourself, probably have ridiculous expectations for the modern internet and the modern user. And it's just bullshit. I'm so tired of reading takes like this. And then the guy who made the Anacrusis got into it with a bunch of people because he was mad that people gave that game a bad score a long time ago, when it's like, dog, like, a lot of people played that game the week it came out and it just didn't stick with it because there were like 1,000 different games that we could have gone and played. And it wasn't different enough or good enough. And I feel for people.
I was gonna say, I feel for that.
Like, I feel for them because
they're a victim of the same system that we are too. And it's like,
and as we're seeing, like, what it was like 1,700 Steam games came out like 15 years ago in a year, and now it's up to like 20,000. It's like it's a huge difference.
It is. We are trying to judge ourselves by metrics that are 10 to 15 years old.
Yeah.
And then expecting the things that were working 10 to 15 years ago to continue to work, when literally every single system that was important in keeping those things alive back then either does not exist or is completely different.
Completely.
And then there's just no consideration for that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at this point in my life, I see takes like this and I'm like, oh, well, anyway.
Yeah, no.
Anyway.
And I think something that like is particularly rough is that like there's a line between giving it oxygen and pointing it out. And I think that like,
I know
it's so difficult, and it is becoming increasingly difficult for me to figure out where the line is between what it like to the
what's
point
worth putting my energy into. Is hard to determine.
It's really tough. Because it's like the damage that a conversation like this does to the people who are intentionally trying to do this damage, like their job is done, right? Like they've sown another seed of discontent.
They've set the fire and they've walked away.
Yes, and they get to walk away. Blender Games, what's the fuck's it called? CISO Games?
Bossa Games.
Bossa Games gets to go back and be like, we'll make Surgeon Simulator 3.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And then also we'll be like, hey, GameSpot, Did you know that we're releasing Surgeon Simulator 3? Would you like to cover Surgeon Simulator 3? We didn't, so we've never said anything.
It's like, sorry, we're buried in GTA 6 guides.
Yes, come on, gang. Come on. Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough.
It's bad. Anyway, that guy is getting the fucking brakes beat off of him in the comments.
Imagine getting fucking roasted on LinkedIn. It's very
dude. Funny. You know how bad you have to fuck up.
Yeah, you really have to. It broke. You could so tell it broke containment for him so fast because he was like he's responding to like every single message. Too. It's crazy.
Don't do that.
That's tough. Don't do that. Turn it off. Just turn the computer off. That's what the power button.
Come back with a statement and be like, "Hey, my bad.
I fucked up.
My bad. No, he's doubling down like on almost caught.
That's what that makes sense.
I don't feel
you look at the manual and like don't double down. Like, but what if I did?
But what if it's different from me? Do we have any other news we wanted to discuss? That's all I had this week, and it was one of them was barely news. Fable did get delayed. It got delayed.
Yeah, my some new fucking fantasy team's getting fucking.
I forgot that you did that.
Oh my god, I have negative points right now.
Get good. That's incredible.
I was projected to be number 1 by a gap of 20 points almost after we did the draft, and then I fucked up. Oh, I'm really annoyed. I counterpicked Avowed, which was a mistake. Like that simply was a mistake. But I was really expecting people to be cold on it because it was a Microsoft game.
Sure.
So I was like, it felt in my bones like a 75.
The marketing lead up was also not strong.
It was so cold. There was nothing. So I was like, that feels like a 75 to me. So that felt like safe. It was a mistake, but it felt safe. And then I was going between Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Fable. And I said, I don't like the people who make the first one. Yep. So I guess I'll pick Fable.
Yeah. I picked up KCD2 and I'm like,
you're feeling pretty good about it.
Now you're living clean, the living's easy. Yeah, summertime.
Like, listen, if I need a linebacker, I can hire Ray Lewis. I don't like the decision.
I don't like it, but I can. So anyway, I have negative points, so I'm fucked.
That's what's up.
Anyway, if anybody knows what games I should pick up, let me know on the Discord.
Hey, I just got the weirdest thing. I got a Google Calendar invite that's called Train to Dallas.
Oh, are you supposed to go to Dallas and you
no
put the
one?
Train in
This is from no one. This is to me
from no one.
From me.
That's kind of creepy.
Are you okay?
You seem to be. Things have been happening on your end.
Hey, wait, hold on. So from you. Train to Dallas to John Warren. Reply to John Warren.
Yeah, but don't you live in Dallas?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Central Time 6:16.
Go to the train station.
Today.
Go to the train station.
That is today.
That's 10
yeah, go. Okay, so go. How far is the train station?
I don't know. I'm freaked out now. Where? Let's see. Where?
Can you go?
Would you even take a train? Like, is that a thing you do?
Train to Dallas.
What does it say? Check your email.
I did. I'm checking it. It just says Google
you have a ticket?
Train to Dallas.
Whoa.
I have no idea. This is one of the strangest things. I'm gonna have to investigate.
Okay.
We're playing some shuffle in the video.
Yeah. Best of luck to you, I guess.
Thank you. So yeah, Fable did get delayed. We did get some new pre-alpha footage. It looks like
that's the best way to delay a game, I think.
I think so too. To say, oh, by the way,
like we are actively working on it. We're not delaying it because it's new stuff.
Yep,
we're delaying it because we just need more time. But here is what the game looks like.
We got boxed out by GTA 6.
No, and like
I still don't believe.
You still don't think so?
I don't.
I agree. I don't think GTA is a lock. I know they put it in their physicals, but I don't know.
I think it's a lock.
If
I just think it would be so. I want it to be a lock because disgusting, vile reasons. I want them to release an unfinished game very badly. For, like on a personal level, I think it would
just
be
to see
really
what
nice
just to see what
what if Rockstar, because like the amount of glaze that this game is going to get regardless is going to be fucking crazy. So if I
be talking like Kyrie's handles, like they talk about this game.
If I get to be double vindicated because the game is bad and the game is bad, like that's going to hit like fucking drugs 2 to me.
Yeah.
Drugs 2.
So I hope it comes out this year and it is slightly unfinished and unpolished.
Man, that's crazy. If also maybe like Ronnie Rockstar's up in his office and said, you know what, I'm just gonna say it's coming out this year and I'm just gonna see how people react.
I'm
just gonna fuck around with people.
Just see.
And then Fable's like, oh shit, yo, next year we'll come out next year.
And if we're having trouble, we'll call Leslie Benzies, maker of Mind's Eye, to come in and help us finish.
You remember
the Benz. Mind's Eye.
Yeah. You know what's fucked up?
What?
Ronnie 2K is Ronnie Rockstar.
Oh shit. We don't know that though.
Make you think.
Damn. He might swerve, bends that corner. Whoa. Jello. We got no Jello fans.
What video games are we playing right now?
All right.
Avowed.
All three of us are playing Avowed.
Yeah.
Hey John, what happened in Avowed yesterday for you before you stopped playing?
Well, I had been really steamrolling pretty much every enemy group for the past like 3-4 game hours. And then I really wanted to flex in front of Michael Higham, who joined me for the stream. And I was getting my shit rocked. I was getting my shit rocked by big mobs of skeletons and like
mushrooms with
stuff and
mushrooms with fat asses.
Yep. And so I was exploring this big area, and then I left, and then like the world changed in an interesting way, which is the first time that had happened. And
now, can we please listen? If you haven't played Avowed yet,
spoilers for Avowed. It's fine.
Skip, Michael. Have you gotten past this part?
Yeah.
Okay. Skip. I don't know. You'll figure out. You're an adult.
Skip.
You'll figure it out. Yesterday, when I came in to say, "Hey, John, check your documents," you can prevent the city burning down.
No.
What?
So this game is so fucking good. Because that's what I posted, or that's what I tweeted earlier in the week. I was like, damn, I didn't read that note. There's a guy that stands outside of the city.
Yeah.
Literally stands behind a tree. When you run by him, he's like, hey, envoy. And I like turned around and I was like,
hey, what's up?
Hey, who the fuck are you? And he's like, hey, I'm a spy from Adir, and I am just like letting you know because I think that they're about to do some dumb shit. I'm letting you know. Do you want to like talk about it? And there are multiple ways you can go. Like in that conversation tree, there's like, are you trying to say that you're trying to betray everybody, or you can be oh yeah, word, word? Yeah, please. If you find anything out, let me know. There's also separately, I found a cave of people who were like all like posted up in this fucking secret like buried cave, and they were all from Adir, and I was like, oh, who the fuck are these guys? And I was walking in and they were like, please leave, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll go. That guy sends you if you talk to him, he sends you a letter through Jada, and Jada gives you the letter after you get the stick from her parents in the basement, her regular normal parents who are just normal and regular.
Totally fine. Yep.
She gives you a letter. And she was like, a guy dropped this off for you. And then if you look at the letter, in the letter is, hey, there are a bunch of people in a cave really close to the city with fire bombs and explosives. You should probably go do something about it. And can you guess when I read that note?
After it happened?
It was after it had happened.
Holy shit.
And I when I made the realization, so funny, I dropped.
But that's so funny though, because it's like, imagine like being the most important person in the world, and you're like on this like swashbuckling adventure, and they're like, did you check your mail, envoy? I'm like, I'm fucking busy. Like, I'm doing a lot of stuff.
God. It's so funny because like, there's even this is like, I know the game is really well written. There's a line of dialogue that Jada says. So you get the letter from Jada, and your character, there's options that's like go past it, like finish the, like move past this. There's an option that is, hey, did you read this? And in that conversation, I clicked, did you read this? And she goes, I didn't read it. I just looked at the handwriting. It seemed nice. The game was screaming at me, saying, so hey, go look at this fucking letter. And I said,
it's fine. I'm sure it's just, I
gotta go somewhere else.
It's got more proper nouns in it. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need to know.
This game is really good. I really, really like it.
That's amazing.
That is
delightful.
That is a touch that Obsidian. That's a kind of touch that Obsidian is known for.
Yes.
And
so now I really gotta fucking pay attention when people give me shit.
Yeah,
and that choice, right? That fork. I don't know if you prevent the entirety of the tragedy from happening, or if it modifies what the tragedy is, or if it moves people out and less people die. Like, I don't know.
Or less people die.
But you stop the thrust of the thing that happened to. It seems like this also happened to you, Michael, right?
Yeah.
The thrust of it, you do have the ability to influence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and a lot of games are like, they're so adamant about the world happens and then you happen, right? Mm-hmm. And it feels sometimes separate when it is in service of the story, but there's so many things that the player actually does have agency in. And this was one of the things where it was like, yeah, was I penalized because my brain kind of turned off and I was approaching this like I would approach an Elder Scrolls? Like, yeah, because in an Elder Scrolls, a person gives you a piece of paper and it's like, cool, it doesn't matter. Like, who gives a shit? But in this, people died. Like, literally people died because I didn't read this fucking note, which wow.
You were constantly, and this is amazing because, like, thank God they didn't try to do this, but there's no morality system in this game.
Yeah.
And the reason that there's no morality system in this game is because the idea of a morality system is really stupid, actually.
Yes.
Because you are constantly learning new information about everything about you in the world.
Yeah.
And if you are a hardliner in terms of a specific ethics or you are going to make a set of decisions that don't actually feel like they make any sense in the world.
Yeah.
So you are asked as the player, in my opinion, to make actually more difficult, genuinely harrowing decisions than I have experienced. Like, I went to a farm and the animancers are basically fucking up the farming because, like, the ground is dying and, like, there's a massive, massive famine and they're running out of food. This one farm that was actually doing okay had all their food stolen. So they're like, go find the food. I think it's this bandit camp. And it turns out to be the group of Paradisian rebels who, in my case, I heard how badly the Paradisians have been treated by the Adirans, who I'm there to represent. And I believe them. So I've started to kind of side with the rebels. Yeah. I go to the rebel camp and I'm like, you can't steal all their food. Like, come on. Yeah. And they're like, we're starving to death and we're going to die if we go to Paradise and show our faces. Yeah. And so in that moment I had to go like, I need the food back, and I was going to have to kill all of them.
Yeah.
Or I'd have to be like, okay, you can keep the food. And then I went back to the place and I was like, listen, these bandits kept your food, and I let them do it. And she was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, here's 100 gold. And she's like, this doesn't fix
anything. Yeah.
So it's
the morality
is really funny.
The morality system, if done correctly, is the player's emotions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are so many rooms you can walk in,
rather than
it is the most poor people on the whole fucking planet. And the game is like, do you want to take their cabbage from them?
Right.
You don't, nothing bad's going to happen to you if you do.
But you
can if you want.
Yeah.
Do you want to be an asshole or not?
Yeah.
It's like, that's you. It's like, that's a you decision that you have to make.
Yeah.
Morality, because then with the morality system, you're feeding into a system for a specific outcome.
Yes.
And it depends on what kind of game you want to build and what kind of story you're trying to tell. Something like Mass Effect 1, where it's like, am I going to be a cool Spectre or am I going to be like an asshole Spectre? And in the context of what Mass Effect is, like, it works for that. But you have to like really think about what purpose does a morality system serve, and something like Avowed, a morality system would not serve what Obsidian is trying to write. And some people will like that more than I like that more than like a Paragon Renegade system, because it's more interesting. You can play with the writing more, and you can force the player to be experimental. And there are conversations you have in Avowed where like, I actually don't know what the outcome is if I say this. No, just like in real life, like I might say something to somebody and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize that would like influence them to do X, Y, or Z, whatever. And like there's more modularity to the game that you are building when you have decisions like that. I imagine it's messier to make that kind of game. It's messier to tell like a tighter story. But if you build a story around this idea that you can do these things and the world will react without having to like carve out like, all right, if you go down this route, this is what happens. You go down this route, this is what happens. Like, I think it's a more interesting product. And I think like there's like in Fallout New Vegas, there are like factions you can please, whatever. But like, more or less, like you have like 10 factions and the ending slideshow will change based on that. But the beauty of Fallout New Vegas is that, you know, you make decisions and you're not beholden to any like morality system. Shit just happens and you make those decisions. It just happens, you see the consequences at some point down the line. You're like, oh shit, I didn't realize like that can happen.
Yeah. And the other thing that's so nice is that like I am constantly changing my mind about the way that I view the world in this game as I learn things. I was super on board with the voice in my head until they said some crazy shit when I was playing yesterday.
100%.
And I was like, hey, yo.
Hey, word? Yeah.
What do you fucking mean?
Yeah. You have this kind of spirit latched onto you, which, spoilers again, turns out to be this kind of god, this forgotten god. And when you first understand, you know, when you first kind of hear the thing, in your
sorry, I derailed the podcast.
It's okay.
I'm glad that you two got the reference though.
Stupid.
Anyway, sorry.
It's okay.
It's my favorite video on the internet right now, and it's going to be a very high bar to clear.
Yeah, Michael did just say, I'm not Shadow Chosico. I haven't run out of PP when he said he would hold his PP.
Yeah.
Anyway, we just had to say that.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. It is a really funny video. I think like at first this passenger is just like describing the world in weird ways. You're like, oh, weird. I've got like a freaky little guy in my head. That's fun. And then it's like, as it begins to gain confidence, it's like, oh, like, I think actually like anything living, no matter if it like, you know, has like a will or ethics or like a family, like anything living is the same. And it's good. Like, it's okay if you're just a mushroom and not a person.
Yeah.
It's like, it's okay if I treat every living thing the exact same way. And it's like, and then it starts to say even weirder shit. And you're like, you know,
I don't know about that.
But Avowed's really good. Avowed is super, super good. Let's talk about South of Midnight for like literally like 2 minutes.
Great.
Because we have to go soon. What you did a preview event?
I played the preview build of South of Midnight.
Amazing.
Wow.
And it is. Did y'all talk about this game?
No. Well, I mean, we talked about it.
We've talked about it.
No, I've never touched it.
The preview.
They don't let me play stuff except for the stuff that they let me play.
Except for the stuff that
they didn't let me play this one.
I think you watch the gameplay, you kind of like get a feel for like, oh, it's a third-person character action game that has some adventure, has some platforming, and it has competent combat. But I played that preview build, and that shit got me feelings. It is
hell yeah.
Okay.
That game is. I hope people don't sleep on it, because it's not. And it's one of those things where it's like, that's not necessarily about the gameplay. You're like, yeah, people want to play video games to have fun, right? But the gameplay stuff is competent. Like, it's not bad. But it's not necessarily doing anything like outrageously
super
new,
different,
or I'm not out here like fucking playing a Bayonetta or whatever, which is fine.
Yeah.
But everything else around that game, artistically, like story wise, a vision of a game, this shit is. I was blown away by it. I was like extremely impressed. Because it has like this clarity of vision. Like we are trying to build like Gothic folklore of the South. That is what this game is, and we are going all in on it. Especially like the elements of Southern culture, is so prevalent. It feels authentic, and it's like in service of building a world that is unique that you just don't see elsewhere. And even like, so a small thing too is what I picked up on, and I don't know if this was like super intentional, but I talked about this on Hit Video Game Podcast Unlocked. But there's a character in the demo who has like a specific Southern accent. Yeah. It's like what you hear from Mississippi specifically. Sure. And I was born in Mississippi. I have roots in Mississippi, so like I recognize like the specific type of Southern accent, because people from Memphis talk differently from people from Houston, talk differently 100%. From people from Alabama, like
North Carolina. Yeah.
There's no like Southern accent. It's not a monolith. There's regionality to it. And I think like that was one piece in which you're like, oh, I recognize the way he cuts off his words when he's talking. That's a Mississippian Southern accent, which is different from how the main character talks, which is different from how other characters talk in that world. And there's so many little bits and pieces of like things, like historical things. Like the thing is that this world that you are in, I don't think they say specifically what area of the South it's supposed to be based on, but it's been ravaged by a hurricane, and like there's a lot of story to be told about the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina too, which like completely changed the course of that region's history. And this game kind of like plays on that idea that like this tragedy that no one could control has now put us on a course that has changed people's lives in ways that they just could not comprehend. Totally. And like you see, there's a lot of environmental storytelling in which you can see like all these houses. There's like, where poor people live, where like struggling communities live. And you could see like, oh, they had been like, they were in the midst of being evicted, and like this historically Black area that was in the process of being like completely wiped out by rich landowners. And like you see like this game, it's like they know what they're working with. They know this kind of stories that like the history that a lot of people who lived in these regions have felt. And that also is channeled in like, because the whole thing is like you want to use weaving to like look back on people's memories who have passed. And that is like there's a lot of, it's very coherent, and it feels like they know what they're trying to say with this game. That's awesome. And like at the end, there's like this musical number that plays into what the story is about in that moment, and it fucking got me. Especially like someone who genuinely likes like American folk music, like Southern folk music.
Yeah, Beatles,
it is. Yeah, the way they use. What'd you say?
I said the Beatles.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's just like genuinely like really good music, and the way like the what's being said in the song is guiding you to like throughout this story moment. It's kind of and like so on top of everything that I've already said, and then the music on top of all that, it's like this all feels like it was well thought out, and they said, hey, we're gonna do all this shit and we're gonna do it fucking well, and this is what our game is about. It was so impressive to just play like a 3-hour bit of that game. You're like, I fucking get it. And I need to play this whole game.
Yeah, my deep fear with that video game, Canadian studio. So my deep fear was, I was like, man, who the fuck are these white people? What the fuck do y'all know about this?
They're going to have to spend a lot of money on consultants.
Yes, and every time anybody talks about it, I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
It seems like you did it. And it's like, okay, great, thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there is a world where this game is yikes-a-roo.
Made by a French studio with no involvement from anyone else, basically.
Correct. So I'm fucking amped. Like deeply excited.
Yeah. Well, that's really exciting.
Can I get fantasycritic.games?
Oh, did anyone drop South of Midnight?
Hold on.
Can you pick it up? Can you make a trade?
Make a bid. South. You can't trade. Oh, you can trade South of Midnight.
Damn.
By the way,
fuck.
Oh, wait. By the way, really quickly,
it's on.
How many views a day does the Animal Crossing guide for tier list have? Every day. Yep. Mm-hmm. Users a day.
Okay, I'm gonna say
Price is Right rules, right?
Price is Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say now in 2025, I'm gonna say 150,000 a day.
150,000 a day.
Okay, so
50,000 a day.
This is influencing my answer.
I don't think we had that many ever at some point. No.
I think GameSpot now.
I think I'll say 50.
Right, so 150,000. Go ahead.
I'll say no. I'll say if you say.
Or I should just say one. Actually,
you should just say
500, guys. It's 500.
500.
So
1,000?
No, 500.
500.
I'm gonna bid.
That site.
Thank you to someone who gave me that data while we were on the show. Thank you.
They who must not be named.
We're gonna go to hype questions because we only have really time for one, and I've just decided on the fly that I'm gonna do a bonus this week answering the rest of them because we have completely run out of time. But Lovic asks, oh, by the way, if you want to ask a Hive question, you can go to VGBees.com/join and join the Hive, and you can ask a question in the Hive category of our Discord, discord.gg/VGBees. Lovic asks, fuck, marry, kill, bacon vodka, screwball, peanut butter whiskey, and Smirnoff peppermint vodka.
Okay. Bacon vodka. What's the other one? Peanut butter whiskey?
Peanut butter whiskey and peppermint vodka.
Oh, this is so fucking easy. This is really easy.
We're killing bacon vodka, right?
Kill bacon vodka.
Marry screwball.
Marry the screw. Yeah, the peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah. Because that's good, actually.
Yeah, and then I think
I'd fuck the.
And then fuck the schnapps.
Yeah, because like schnapps, I don't want to have all the time.
I think I'd flip the peanut butter peppermint. I think I'd fuck the.
Have you ever had
peanut butter? Yeah, it's really sweet. It's really sweet.
Yeah,
but don't you want your life?
It is good. It is good.
Yeah,
it is good. All right, fine. That's fair. We're all three are in agreement. We're gonna kill bacon vodka. We're gonna marry peanut butter whiskey. We're going to fuck peppermint vodka. Thank you, Lopix.
The thing, because I would. My reasoning for marrying the whiskey is that the peppermint schnapps is not a summertime beverage.
Yes. No,
there is no circumstance. Yeah, there is no circumstance. Yeah, cupping season. There's no circumstance on July 18th.
No,
where I want peppermint schnapps.
Sure.
It's not happening.
Yeah, so I'm with you there. Good answer. Thank you so much, Lovic. Everyone else, I am going to answer your questions. I'm going to do it on the bonus. And hey, because you already pay me, you get to listen to the bonus. So I don't feel bad about it. How about that? Cash me outside. Michael Higham, do you have anything to plug? Thank you so much for being on the show.
Michael Higham.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Buy
Can I change your name to that right now?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, Buy Fledgling Manor, sure.
Buy Fledgling Manor, sub to makeyouthink.club. Go to VGBees.com/join and go to patreon.com/ if you're driving.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's all so sweet. Nikki, do you have anything to plug besides makeyouthink.club?
Nah, go to makeyouthink.club. I got a payout for $4 yesterday. There's a setting from the newsletter. There's a setting in there. I actually have and I'm very grateful. I've hit the subscriber goal that I had for the end of the year. I have already hit, which is huge for me, and I'm very appreciative. But also there's a setting in Stripe, which I can't figure out, where they pay me every day.
Yes.
So sometimes they give me, I get an email
I have that
like,
as well.
Here's a $4.16 deposit. And now I saw that email and I was like, they're going to think I'm doing drugs or something.
It's very funny. That's because there's like a staggering number of VGBees subscribers, for the first few months I was there. Just a random Thursday, I'll be like, "You're getting $7 tonight." I'm like, "Great!" And then there'll be other nights where it's like, "You got $174." I'm like, "What?" But that only happens once a month, basically.
But it is delightful to have that. To have anything come in.
It's amazing.
I had to take Barley to the vet for her annual, and between the podcast we do if you're driving and the newsletter, it was a no skin off my back. So deeply grateful and appreciative because you're helping me stay alive, which is helpful,
and that's important. You're helping us all stay alive. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We do have to get out of here. Sorry for the abrupt cutoff. We kind of got a late start. We actually chuckle fucked around for 20 minutes before we
whose fault was
recording. That was pretty much mine, I think, but it's fine.
I don't think that's true.
But Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back with a bonus and also a brand new show next week with special guest Andrea Sheeran. So, wow. That'll be a lot of fun. All right. Till next time, keep on buzzing. Bye.